You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 12th of March. India implements citizenship law days ahead of election. India begins withdrawing troops from Maldives amid strained ties. And activists highlight concerns over terrorism extremism in Pakistan. And now for all the details. Days ahead of the announcement of general elections, Indian government on Monday notified the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act. The citizenship law passed by the Indian Parliament in 2019 grants nationality to non-Muslims who fled to India due to religious persecution from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan before December 31, 2014. In a statement, the Home Ministry said law would remove legal barriers to citizenship for refugees, giving a dignified life to those who have suffered for decades. However, opposition and Muslim groups say the law is anti-Muslim and if combined with the proposed National Register of Citizens, could discriminate against India's 200 million Muslim. Sectarian violence and month-long protest had broken out in New Delhi and elsewhere earlier in 2019 following the passage of the CAA by Parliament. Government, however, denies that the law is anti-Muslim and say the law is needed to help minorities facing persecution in Muslim-majority nations. They have termed the earlier protest politically motivated and have said the law is meant to grant citizenship, not take it away from anyone.
धन्यवाद कहना चाहते हैं क्यों तो 70 साल से यहाँ हमें कोई नागरिक नहीं था। सब लोग कहते थे पाकिस्तानी है, लेकिन हम असली में हैं हिंदुस्तानी। हमें बड़ी आस थी भाई हम एक न एक दिन हम हिंदुस्तानी होके ही रहेंगे।
3 पॉइंट हमारे हैं जो मैं बताना चाहती हूँ। फर्स्ट पॉइंट, कानून गलत है। वो कानून इसलिए गलत है, नागरिकता को धर्म से जोड़ता है। दूसरी बात है, कानून इसलिए अभी जो नोटिफिकेशन किया है वो गलत है। चुनाव की घोषणा के ठीक 2 दिन पहले इसका अर्थ क्या है? ध्रुवीकरण को बढ़ाने के लिए हमारे देश में। तीसरी बात है, नियमावली अपने आप में गलत इसलिए है क्योंकि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स के अधिकार को बिल्कुल नकार दिया गया है। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का नामो निशान नहीं है। केवल 2 आमंत्रित सदस्य होंगे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के। तो ये तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल फेडरल कैरेक्टर पर ही पूरा हमला है।
India on Tuesday rejected Chinese objections to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's weekend visit to Arunachal Pradesh, saying the northeastern border state has always been an integral part of India. The statement from India's Foreign Ministry comes a day after Beijing raised an objection over the visit to the India state, which they claim is part of the Chinese administered region of Tibet. In a strong rebuttal, India's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said Indian leaders have been visiting Arunachal Pradesh from time to time as they visit other states of India. Adding that such visits or India's developmental projects does not stand to reason, he reiterated that Chinese objection will not change the reality that the state of Arunachal Pradesh was, is and will always be an integral and inalienable part of India. Moving on, following the deadline given by Maldives President Mohamad Muizzu, India has begun withdrawing military personnel operating surveillance aircraft in the island nation. As per the local media, 25 Indian troops had left the archipelago ahead of March 10, the official start of the withdrawal agreed by both sides. President Mohamad Muizzu came to power in September on a pledge to kick out Indian security personnel deployed in the Maldives to patrol its vast maritime border. Following talks with New Delhi, the two sides had agreed to complete a withdrawal of 89 Indian troops and their support staff from the nation of 1,192 tiny coral island by May 10. Relations between Malé and New Delhi have chilled since Muizzu won elections in September. New Delhi considers the Indian Ocean archipelago to be within its sphere of influence, but the Maldives has shifted into orbit of China, its largest external creditor. And almost after a month of general elections, Pakistan's new cabinet was sworn in at a ceremony on Monday, where the oaths were administered by newly elected President Asif Ali Zardari over a month since the February 8 national election. Last month's election resulted in no party holding a majority, after which a coalition alliance elected Shehbaz Sharif as Prime Minister for a second time to tackle the country's economic and political crisis. Pakistan's current IMF program expires next month, and Sharif has said his government would look to negotiate a new, longer-term bailout to keep the country's economy stable amidst high inflation and external financing requirements. Sharif's new government faces daunting challenges, including an unprecedented economic crisis, regular power cuts, near-daily militant attacks, and a challenging relationship with neighboring Taliban-run Afghanistan. Meanwhile, activists in Geneva during a conference shed light on the ongoing issues of terrorism and religious extremism in Pakistan and its reverberating impact on peace in South Asia. A report.
Activists and experts in Geneva during a conference on Monday shed light on the ongoing issues of terrorism and religious extremism in Pakistan, emphasizing its impact on peace in South Asia. The symposium opened with a sobering discussion on the historical use of religion and terrorism as state policies in Pakistan affecting marginalized communities such as Pashtuns, Baloch and Sindhis. Activists emphasized the urgent need for the international community to take notice and hold Pakistan accountable on a global platform.
As you know, right from the inception of convoluted state of Pakistan, the religion and terrorism has been used as state policy and tool to oppress and suppress the historical nations of Pakistan, just like Pashtuns, Baloch and Sindhis. And you know about the consistent, continuous wars in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in which thousands of innocent Pashtuns and Baloch had been killed, and thousands are forcibly disappeared and tortured.
Well, Pakistan is, in my opinion, is a problematic country because it doesn't seem to be able to deal with the terrorist type of people in the army and so on.
Activists collectively conveyed a message to international authorities emphasizing the need for decisive action to address the escalating situation in Pakistan and its implications for regional peace. The call for accountability and intervention aims to safeguard human rights and counter the influence of terrorism and extremism in the South Asian region.
Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal is scheduled to take vote of confidence on March 13, days after he revived the coalition with CPN-UML, which caught his former alliance partner Nepali Congress off guard, who in response withdrew support from the government. The third round of flow test is mandated by Nepal's constitutional provision, which requires Prime Minister to seek trust vote after any ally withdraws support. While Dahal enjoys a comfortable support of 150 members in Nepal's House of Representatives, he has been facing a challenge in forming 25-member cabinet due to a hung parliament and excessively overcrowded ministerial enthusiasts from the coalition partner. In a display of defense prowess, Indian Armed Forces on Tuesday conducted a synergized demonstration of indigenous defense capabilities in the form of a tri-services live fire and Manoeuvre exercise, Bharat Shakti, in Rajasthan's Pokhran city. Witnessed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with foreign military delegates, the exercise saw forces displaying multi-domain operations and integrated operational capabilities to counter threats across land, air, sea, cyber and space domains. Addressing the occasion, the Prime Minister said that the valor and skills at display today are the call of New India. Today, once again, Pokhran became a witness of the Triveni of India's Atmanirbharta, self-confidence and its glory, he said. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.